What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today I'm gonna make something that I've had requested for the last week or so. I'm gonna make some baked falafel. So if you don't know what falafel is basically it's like a fritter kind of. It's a Middle Eastern dish or a Mediterranean dish that is made from chickpeas and a bunch of other stuff, or fava beans, or a mixture of the both of them. I typically make them with chickpeas just because I don't really know what fava beans are, and chickpeas are just really easy to find in the grocery store. But it doesn't need a ton of ingredients, and it's pretty easy to make. Typically, they are deep fried, but I don't like to fry too many things in my kitchen other than the chicken and waffles that I made the other day. If you haven't seen that, go watch that because it is incredible. But so normally I don't fry too many things, so if I can find a baked alternative, I typically do. So I found a recipe for baked falafel, and I found it from eatingbirdfood.com. Right, I'm one of these website names. Anyways, but this website had a really easy recipe that's pretty easy to make, about half an hour from beginning to end. So let's run over the ingredients and we will get started. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need is a can of garbanzo beans. Traditionally, they're made with dried chickpeas that you soak and you cook and all that, but you can just use canned. It's the same thing. Now, garbanzo beans and chickpeas are used interchangeably, so it's just a different name for the same thing. So you need a can of garbanzo beans. You need about a quarter cup of chopped onion. This will be maybe a little less than a quarter of this guy. And you don't have to chop it super finely because it's going to go in the food processor. So about a quarter cup of chopped onion, about 3 cloves of garlic. I don't have any fresh, so I'm just going to use some already minced garlic, which is about 1.5 teaspoons of garlic. About half a cup of parsley, 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of coriander. We need about 3/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt, just a little pinch of cayenne, and then half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 3 tablespoons of almond flour. This is almond flour that I've made myself. I'll make a video one day of how to make that, but you can use regular flour if that's all you have. I was gonna use almond flour though, just to keep it gluten-free, a little bit healthier, and all that jazz. And that's about it. So I have my oven preheated to 375 degrees. Let's go ahead and put all this together and see where it goes after that. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is get my garbanzo beans in here. So I've drained and rinsed these, so you don't want any of that bean juice in there. Alright, now I'm going to get my 1.5 teaspoons of garlic. I got a 1/2 teaspoon measuring thing here, so got 1/2, got 1/2, now 1.5. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/2 cup of parsley, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball that. Kind of rip a little piece off there. That's maybe about 1/2 cup, probably a little more, but it's all good. Alright, now about a tablespoon of olive oil. Put that in there. Alright, now a teaspoon of cumin. Put that in there. A teaspoon of coriander. Put that guy there. And 3/4 of a teaspoon of sea salt. That guy there. Alright, now I'm going to add my 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. 1 and 2. Of course, you can use fresh lemons if you want, but I'll just use lemon juice today. And now just a pinch of cayenne. I'm just going to put a couple little shakes in there. Should be good. Alright, so now I'm just going to go ahead and cover this and blend it up until it is well mixed. Alright, so as you can see here, it is still pretty chunky, which is kind of what you want. You don't want it to get too pureed because then you'll get like a hummus. I also realized I forgot to put my onion in, so I'll put that in there right now. And I'll just kind of scrape the sides and process it for a little bit more. Just kind of pulse it until it is pretty well combined, but not quite pureed like a hummus. And I'll show you what it looks like when I get there. Alright, so this is looking pretty good. My onions are a little bit bigger than I would want them to be, but it's all good. It should still work out. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in my baking soda and my almond flour just to kind of help everything hold together. And I will show you what it looks like when I get there. All right, starting off with my ½ teaspoon of baking soda, and then now my 3 teaspoons of almond flour. 1, 2, 3. All right, now I'm just gonna stir all that in until it kind of comes together kind of like a dough. And I'll show you what it looks like when I finish doing that. All right, so this has gotten a lot stiffer, kind of more like a dough that you can kind of play with your hands, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like. So now you can kind of get it with your hands and make little patties like that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a bunch of patties, however many this makes, and put it on a baking sheet, and then stick them in the oven. And I'll show you what it looks like when I do that. All right, so I've got a baking sheet here that's lined with parchment paper and sprayed with some olive oil so it doesn't stick. And so like I said, you just make these guys into little patties like that. I don't know, about a little smaller than the palm of your hand. And then stick them on here, and then just keep on going until you have used up all your falafel here. All right, so I got about 9 out of that batch. You can make them a little bit smaller if you want. You can make them a little bit bigger if you want. It'll just kind of adjust the cooking time. So I'm gonna bake these for about 10 to 12 minutes at 375. And then I'm gonna flip them over, and then I will bake them again for 10 to 12 minutes, and I will show you what it looks like when I get there. All right, so these have been in the oven for about 11 minutes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and flip them. Ooh, yeah, see how they're nice and brown underneath. I'm going to flip all of them and then bake it for another 10 or 11 minutes. All right, the falafel was in the oven for another 10 or 11 minutes or so, and they're out, and I am ready to chow down on these because I love falafel. You guys can look at that. You see all the delicious herbs and all that, all the brown from baking it. It's so good. All right, so here we go. Buen provecho. Yeah. Man, I love falafel. All those spices and the parsley and all that just comes together really well. Whoever invented a falafel, they knew what they were doing because this stuff is good. And it's super versatile. You can put it with salads. One of my favorite ways to do it is in a Mediterranean salad, which I can show you guys one day. It's super good. You can put it on salads. You can put it in wraps. You can just eat it by itself like a little high protein snack if you want to. You can do a lot of things with it. You can make bigger patties and make falafel burgers if you wanted to. Whatever you want to do. So if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, I would love to see them in the comments. Again, I will link the recipe down below. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that jazz, and I will see you guys later. Bye.